What's going on, guys? Bel-Air here, and do my eyes deceive me? This car is moving really, really slow, not very mechanical. Oh, it's Retals. We're watching Retals. As almost gets scored on to start off the video there. Retals, I have been watching a lot of gameplay of recently, and I think a lot of people just assume that, like, is he just already is starting Retals things by trying to be annoying and be a nuisance on the offensive end to get those upfield blocks and demos. But a lot of the discourse around Retals is like, well, he's old, so it's probably chalked. But I think Retals still has a lot in the tank, has not really fallen off a cliff as far as his offensive impact. Granted, he's never going to be like your go-to like on-ball scorer, but definitely still has the mechanics to be on a competitive team, as we saw with them making Major 1 and then being in deep contention for Major 2 until the buzzer. And I still think he is impactful off the ball and is pretty good as a leader and floor general in spots. So let's talk today about Retals. We're going to watch a couple of games. The first two are going to be Swiss rounds. All of these are open qualifiers. 6 games, by the way. The first two are Swiss game 5s. This one here against M80. And then we are going to watch their game 5 against OG Esports. And then finally we'll watch a game from the quarterfinals that they got eliminated, their final match of the season against Shopify Rebellion, who's been getting a lot of buzz on this channel recently, haven't they? Retals just going to totally take Nos off the ball there and trying to be a nuisance in transition. Joris with the redirect, and it's all steady here as Retals is going to beat AJ up to a ball to kill that offensive set there from M80. M80 have had their own struggles that have been well documented over this season. This team is now decided to dissolve. I don't really know if Nos and AJ are going to be teaming, but Joris has announced his plans to go back over to Europe for next season. And according to Joris, that actually was always the case. He said in I believe in a tweet, he was like, or maybe it was from the Shift article on the news, but apparently it was decided from the beginning, really, that he was just going to do a season over here and then end up going back to Europe. So whether or not Nos and AJ stick together is TBD. My guess is no, but hey, what do I know? I don't know the inner workings at all, as we have a tie game here with 2:23 left. If you hadn't watched this game, I'd be very curious what you, at this point, if you pause the video, what do you think the final score is going to be? Unless you know, I guarantee you won't guess what it is, as Retals is going to take one to the air here. And again, no fancy reset or anything like that, but kills Nos in transition. And not only does that kill that offensive attempt from M80, but it also creates transition for Luminosity the other way, as Retals is going to hop in front of this one here. Light touch to stay on the ball, tries to take the 50 in the box, bumps Joris, and that's 3. That's not going to show up on the stat sheet for Retals as a goal. I don't even think it was an assist, but that entire offensive possession and ultimately the goal was created by Retals. And of course, he immediately side flips and almost costs them a goal the other way, but saves it, breaks out in transition. I don't know what all this about him being old and washed is. Seems like he's pretty impactful in this game so far. Let me see how he set this one up real quick. So floats all the way down, saves some of his boost, tries to get over to AJ here, and that's just bad defense by M80 is what that is, as this game 5 is starting to slip away from them here. Retals with the fake kickoff, and is going to try and get that one over to Majicbear, who's already pre-jumped it. Oh my god. All right, so when you're feeling it, you're feeling it. Look at this entire set. This is from the break, right? This is a set play, the only set play in Rocket League, the kickoff. Cheese, beautiful to Retals, who redirects, slices one over to Majicbear, who slots. All right, well, what are you gonna do, huh? But great play, and I feel like my read on things is a lot of that, excuse me, on the pitch, kind of leadership and decision making comes from Retals. Of course, they have Raw Greg, who is the coach extraordinaire over for Luminosity, but I think a lot of that on the pitch stuff is coming from him. And there's your Brazil. What is that? 4 goals within a minute and a couple seconds there. This one has totally gotten out of hand for M80. Retals, with the ball cam off, is able to get not only the touchdown field, but then the beat as well. And this one is just, kind of gone off the rails here. This is just kind of for glory, as M80, who really needed this game 5 here, and the uppers, or it might be the 1-on-1 round of Swiss for round 3, are going to end up falling apart to a team in Luminosity that found their offense very easily. And to be honest, a big part of that seemed to be Retals opening up opportunities, whether he's up in the grill of his opponents on the other side of the pitch, whether he is setting up these beautiful passes from these set kickoff plays, or whether he is just, making a mess for the opponent on their end of the pitch. I think he is a very tilting player to play against, and he has a good feel for that, and he's incredible at setting up his teammates. That piece of the equation reminds me in many ways of Itachi for Gentlemates. The ability to make your teammates better. He's never going to be the best player on a championship contending team, but he certainly can be a critical piece to a winning situation. And this game from Retals really showed how he can still do that against a pretty deadly M80 roster here. But we're going to see how they fare against OG Esports in a second as well. Let's look at this one real quick. This goal doesn't mean anything. It's complete garbage time, but the flip reset pass by Majicbear is beautiful, and then the kind of ability to pirouette there and find the corner from Retals makes it 9-3, which if you paused earlier in the video and you had said 9-3 would be the scoreline, good on you. Oh my gosh. Oh man, what a save to keep it from being 10-0. It's like the Chris Paul makes a big 3-point shot to cut the lead to 42. Jorius with a huge save to keep it a 6-goal loss. All right, that's game 1. Let's hop over to OG Esports and we'll keep this thing rocking. I forgot to pull up the stats, the scoreboard after the game from the last video, so I'll put it here on the screen. Look at you, Belleair. Look at you. Getting your editing chops out. That looks beautiful. What did you build that with? Is that Adobe Premiere? OG Esports Game 5. This is Swiss Round 4, so the previous one was Round 3, where they crushed M80. And now let's see how they do against a much different roster here in OG Esports, who are, more of a legacy, have more legacy talent here. Not the same mechanical upside, but they make up for that in their cohesion as a unit, in their veteranship, let's call it. So is that kind of pick up the pace style and that Retals demo agenda going to work out in the same way here? Let's find out on this episode of Dragon Ball Z. Retals upfield, just trying to get in Nolly's way. It seems like that's something that Retals does quite a bit, where he's like, look, I'm not really trying to play the ball or score or assist. I'm literally just trying to get in your way and be a nuisance. And that's something that works out pretty well sometimes, where even if it doesn't lead to a goal, it's kind of like it's like running the football in football, where it's like you're not necessarily going to get 5 yards or a touchdown on every time you run the ball, but the idea is over the course of a game you will break down the defense with all of those hits and things like that. I think it's similar for Retals with the demos and being a nuisance, where it's like, look, we're not going to score on all of these, as Cheese just gets a complete fake there in the air to put that one in. We're not going to score on every one of these, but just you knowing that I'm going to be here in the future will hopefully pay dividends in the long run as gets bumped off the ball and tries to get down to make a play on it. Stays in the way here. And let's transition out. Keeping the pressure on Com, tries to float that one over J-Naps. Nobody on his team is there to help him out. And that's going to be a score. What in the world happened? Tries to float this one, and Majicbear just completely dusted. Retals tries to rush back. And that's just really heads up Rocket League there by OG Esports, who realized that they had an opportunity. And once they beat Majicbear, it was just full speed ahead for that transition goal. Retals waits middle. Just trying to be aware of his surroundings, checking to see what big boosts have spawned. He tries to get these glancing blows over the defense and sometimes get like 50s out of it. Sometimes it ends up biting him in the butt where they end up floating all the way down the other way. And Majicbear, what on earth? Hold on, am I crazy? Oh! Well, that was almost really cool. Excuse me, I'm going to try my best to cut that out of the video. I just had a little bit of a cough, a little bit of a dry throat today, but that does not stop the content. So Majicbear wasn't able to turn that one in, but here we go. Retals in the goal line, bumps Cheese, makes it awkward, but somehow is able to use his mechs to get out of that situation. And that's really what mechanics in Rocket League are, right? At the end of the day, mechanics is the ability to have your car do what you want it to do, like to get to the balls and make the play on it that you want to. Getting a triple flip reset is cool, but if you get a triple flip reset and then it just goes straight into the defense or you throw it high, it's like, well, that was mechanical, but it wasn't necessarily good mechanics. Retals doesn't always have the flashiest mechanics, but commonly is able to do what he wants to when he is in certain positions, like we just saw there defensively. Gets the beat to that boost. J-Naps is totally left out, and not a good shot from Retals, who really probably wanted to get more power and go high there, but ended up putting it directly on the hood of his opponent. See what he can do here. Tries to go off ceiling to get the musty. It was a little off speed, which, you know, did keep the defense in a tough spot, but probably back-to-back shots that show why Retals definitely needs high-quality scoring around him, just because a lot of those don't consistently find the back of the net like they may have in past seasons for him. Tries to just keep this one in play, make it awkward. Probably took a bounce that he wasn't anticipating. And look, he's just going to creep behind here, steal a boost, stay in the play. Tough spot, gets a demo though. And they really got to start pushing the numbers here. So floating back in, another demo. But again, these got to kind of get to something. A demo is nice, but if you're not actually doing anything with it, what is the point? And hopefully that one does not float in. Otherwise, we will have a dead series. As Retals says, screw it, I'm going to leave the ball for Cheese, get a demo. This one floats right to him. And a little high there. The off-speed, oh, Com. What a defensive play there by Com. Well, you got to watch that one back. That's J-Naps. Maybe this is Com who gets demoed. This is Nolly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's Com. Gets up, tries to get the read, cannot. Conserves his boost, and then is going to beat Majicbear there to kill it. So there is this Retals situation where the lack of on-ball shooting and power hurt them. If he would have had one of those shots look a little bit better, we might have had a tie game, and then who knows where this goes. Not that that's all necessarily just on him, but the off-ball stuff is awesome. But sometimes the offensive prowess is lacking a little bit, and you would like him to be able to finish with a little more grace and precision. But that does not diminish what we had seen from what he can do offensively in the first game. It just kind of is not consistent, and that's why you need a high-quality offense around him to be best. So let's hop over to a Shopify Rebellion game, and then we will close this video out. All right, Game 6, Neo Tokyo for Retals quarterfinals against Shopify Rebellion. Luminosity need this series. They're still in the hunt. There's a lot of teams in North America at this point who still potentially can make it, and oh my goodness, almost gets there to this one defensively. How does this one even happen? Cheese with a really poor 50. Retals probably takes that a little too wide, but had to cover all the angles, and Justin is going to crunch one in for 1-0. Yeah, like I was saying, Luminosity are still in the hunt here, I believe, at this point in the video, but they really need this win because Shopify is in the hunt as well. So not only would they get the points, but also take someone else out of contention here is what they're looking for. And this one has been a back and forth affair so far. Big scoring outbursts by both teams in their individual wins. A couple 5-1s, I think even like a 6-4 that Shopify won just before this. So Luminosity are really looking to, if they want this to be a shootout, so be it. But, you know, something's got to give. Either their offense has to keep cooking or their defense needs to settle down a little bit, as this one is really bouncing all around here to start things off. Majicbear with the off speed. Retals tries to get up to get the read and transition on Justin. Cannot do it. Something Retals does a lot is steal those forward boosts, and I've noticed in some of the games that I was watching, sometimes they're not really impactful boost steals. Like that one, there's really nobody back. I guess you could say, like, yeah, but maybe if, you know, they get in transition offensively, and this should be a goal here, but unfortunately is not, as he gets bumped off. Gets a demo and the boost steal there, but Retals? And you see, like, that's some of the stuff where it's like, man, really would like to see some more precise striking in some, you know, pretty good situations that he's put into on the offensive end. But often will either can't seal the deal or will defer to his teammates. Much like me, I'm just not very good at shooting, so it's just like, hey, what a pass. Oh, you didn't hit that goal? Well, it was a good pass. But I digress. Sometimes those boost steals that he'll go for upfield end up kind of just taking him out of the action for too long, where it's like, I get that you get the boost steal upfield, but there really was nobody there for it, and your teammates kind of need you on the other side of the pitch. So those wide rotations, while they sometimes work, sometimes they end up biting you in the butt. Retals gets lucky that Parth does not seal that demo, and that was a very, very quick heads-up play. Retals immediately says, I cannot get the read on this. Let me take ball cam off and try and demo or bump whoever is jumping to this from the other side. And it's those kind of heads-up plays where Retals is still impactful offensively, even if he's off ball. Tried to maybe get a glancing blow, at least gets the boost steal, and now he's going to transition out knowing that Parth is lower than he'd want to be. This is really end-to-end. Neither of these teams are setting up long offensive sets here, and if that's 2-0, okay. I was going to say, Retals was third man, totally whiffed. Misses the boost initially, sets up Parth for a demo. It's just one of those things where there's some situations where it's like, look at Retals, man. Like, still got it. A ton of high impact plays, like that save and clear right there. A lot of high impact plays, but then there's also a lot of situations where it's just like, not what they needed, you know? And that's that consistency that keeps people at the top. And, you know, some of this may be due to the situation. Some of it may be team dynamics, how comms are going, how his teammates are looking, and what he's trying to set up. But, you know, it's kind of feast or famine with Retals in what we've seen so far. Another boost miss there. Lets Parth stay full. Ends up killing that play for Luminosity. Retals going to get up early for this one, and that's another one where you really would have liked to see him put that away. Pretty open shot with, you know, half the net open. I'm definitely not one to be like, how could you miss that? Because I would miss that 100%. But this is, you know, the quarterfinals of a RLCS event that means a lot from one of the best players in the world. the demo there. I think this one comes to Retals and just totally slow. Parth crushes him, and then Parth puts it away for what is probably the dagger in this series. We haven't seen a lot of those fun kickoff strategies in this one. Maybe not the point, not the time. Justin just killing time. Gotta score right here if you're going to be in this. Come on, Majicbear, who misses. And that's going to do it. It's going to be our series here for Luminosity. Retals, 4 saves to his name. Pretty underwhelming from what I recall from CHEESE and Majicbear as well, who couldn't really get anything going offensively. But Retals on those 2 shots probably should have been a few more on the scoreboard. Some situations that he could have turned into shots that ended up just dissolving into nothing. There was that one where he was kind of upfield and was thinking about going for a redirect, but ended up trying to defer and back pass to Majicbear, who got bumped in the midfield, and then it was just transition there for Shopify. Or even those situations where the ball was popped up, he comes in with full momentum, tries to slot, and ends up putting it just right on where Justin is. So, it's some situations like that where the off-ball stuff, some of it's beautiful. That M80 series, Retals set up so many of those goals and situations for his teammates that it makes life so easy for CHEESE and Majicbear. But then there's situations where you just want him to give you a little more offensively, a little more power and precision, or the decision making to kind of take the ball out and then kind of find your teammates in that way. So Retals has still got it. I think while some of the players around him are going to find themselves onto lesser rosters, I still think he is in that OG esports-esque level of a guy who has done it before, who could still be on a roster who is making majors. But that's my opinion. What do you guys think about Retals and his future? Do you think that this team is going to stay together? I do not. Let me know in the comments below. And who do you want to watch next? Very interested to keep rolling around here as we get ready for Major 2 in London. But guys, as always, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video and support the channel. And until next time, take it easy.